Good morning and welcome to Football League World TV. My name is Ned Holmes and today I'm joined by Ben Mead from Robins on Tour on YouTube for the Bristol City Fan Voice show. We're going to be talking all things Robins and sort of looking ahead to the season and really what we should expect from Nigel Pearson's team in 2022-2023. How are you doing this morning, Ben?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks, mate. Just looking forward to the season. Obviously not long to go now.
Yeah, as you say, just over a week now before Bristol City sort of get underway against Hull City. Well, before we get started here, a reminder as always, please do like and share this video and subscribe to Football League World TV on YouTube if you haven't already. And of course, please do let us know your thoughts in the comments. Well, we're obviously going to look ahead to the upcoming season, but first of all, Ben, I wanted to sort of pick your brain on last season. Disappointing overall, I think we'd say for Bristol City, but certainly some positives weren't there in terms of the strong finish to the season, lots of goals, and obviously the form of Andy Weimann, Alex Scott, and Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah, definitely that front sort of line, especially in the last few games. Obviously, a 5-0 win against Hull for our last home game, as well as picking up a good result away at Stoke and those games like that. And you could definitely see improvements during the last part of the season from parts of the season before, when we were conceding late on, losing, dropping a lot of points that we probably shouldn't have dropped. But yeah, later on in the season, like I said, last few games we're definitely up. We're definitely uphill. Looking ahead to the next season, and obviously the summer as well has been brilliant. I don't think any Bristol City fans were expecting what we've been given so far, and obviously no one really departing the club. That's been a huge difference over the last few years. I think most Bristol City fans were expecting at least 2 or 3 of our young talents to leave in the summer, and none of them have even really had many rumours during the summer. So yeah, that's a brilliant sort of mark to be having heading into the new season, definitely.
Yeah, as you say, certainly a positive transfer window so far, and we'll move on to talk about that now. Well, a positive transfer window, as we said, and the Robins moving early in particular. The defence an issue last season, of course, the 3rd worst defensive record in the Championship. Cal Naismith signed, obviously Luton's player of the season last season, and Kane Wilson, the EFL League 2 player of the year, arrived. What have you made of those 2 sort of defensive reinforcements?
Well, I haven't actually managed to watch any of the pre-season games, but what I've seen from fans, like all over social media, and just from some of my friends who have watched the games, it's definitely looked promising. Obviously, Cal Naismith, as you said, Luton, one of Luton's best players last season, got in the Championship team in the season, and that came out of nowhere, really. There wasn't even any rumours. I was even talking to some Bristol journalists who have got contacts all over the place, and they didn't even see that coming. So that was definitely a huge positive when we saw that. We've struggled defensively last season, as I said, conceding late goals and throwing games away, but now we've got 2 of arguably could be 2 of the best defenders in the league next season if they do click with Bristol City. Obviously, Kane Wilson, as you said, quality in League 2 last season. It will be interesting how he does moving into the Championship, but he's promising from some of the highlights and stuff I've seen from pre-season so far. And if we can get that backline sorted, that could be a hell of a backline with the options we've got back there. We've got Naismith, Callas, Atkinson. Already, Closer as well, who signed on as well, and then obviously Wilson, De Silva as well for the wing backs. Yeah, very promising heading into next season from a defensive point of view.
Yeah, you talked about the options there, Ben. If you were going to sort of pick a back 3 for you now for the whole game, obviously you've got the likes of Closer, as you said, Callas, Atkinson, Naismith, of course, Idahen, who I think's picked up a slight injury, Riley Towler as well. Who would be that back 3 for you?
I think the back 3's got to be Naismith, got to be in there. I think Closer and Callas probably. Obviously, they're all Championship standard. They've proven themselves in the Championship. Atkinson, though, his quality, he'll be fighting for a place, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of Atkinson this season. He's a quality player, and we've seen it in parts of last season. If he does get that chance this season, if there is an injury, or he's just one of the other defenders on a poor game, and he comes in, he could definitely get his spot and be playing week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving forward to the midfield. No central midfield reinforcements so far. Obviously, a lot of links. I think Marlon Pack was linked with a return. Nadi Rinamoto before he went to Cardiff City. You'd imagine that central midfielder, whether one comes in, will be linked to Hanno Masengo's future. Mark Sykes did join the club, signing on a free transfer from Oxford United. He's someone who plays a little bit further forward in sort of attacking midfield role. What did you make of Sykes as an addition?
Well, that was another one that sort of came up nowhere. I don't think there were many rumours from, a media point of view of Sykes coming. But I think he might be our first signing, and as I said, it literally came out of nowhere. But what I've seen from the highlights and what people have been saying all over social media and stuff, he looks like a quality player. He could be fighting up there for, Alex Scott's place as a centre attacking midfielder. And I think if he does get that chance early on in the season and he does impress, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of him next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly promising sort of depth in that area. Another addition, another one that perhaps came a little bit out of nowhere when he was first linked is 20-year-old French goalkeeper Stefan Bajic, joined after leaving Pau FC early in the summer. An exciting signing, really, given I think he's already a French age group international. What did you make of Badger's addition, Ben? And what do you think it means for the future of Max O'Leary?
Again, that was another one that's, as you said, sort of came out of nowhere, and I wasn't really sure what to think of it, if he was going to be, because obviously there's been rumours of Bentley being linked with the likes of Southampton and Burnley and other clubs like that, and I was wondering if that sort of he's going to be the new number one, and it's sort of confirming Bentley's departure. But it hasn't seemed anything. There hasn't been many rumours of him, and it's been more looking like he'll be fighting for that number 2 spot, which, I mean, is a bit odd because he was starting in Ligue 1, I believe. Obviously, I should said French international as well. But I mean, Bentley hasn't had much competition for his place, and he's a quality goalkeeper, arguably one of the best in the league at points. But he does have a mistake in him at points. So it'll be interesting to see how he does sort of bear with Bajic, or Bajic, however you pronounce his name, as competition for that number 1 spot. And as I said, for Max O'Leary as well, I do wonder if that means he will be getting loaned off. There were rumours of that earlier on in the summer, but Bajic's also got an injury at the moment. I believe he hasn't played a single pre-season game yet. So if he's not fit before the whole game, I do wonder if we will have the 3 quality goalkeepers there all fighting for that number 1 spot come midway through the season.
Yeah, that would certainly be no bad thing for Bristol City. And as we saw last season, Nigel Pearson certainly open to using Max O'Leary in the first team where needs be. O'Leary, of course, linked with MK Don before that they brought in, I think, Nathan Baxter, and then Exeter City more recently. Talking of outgoings, Ben, you sort of touched on it a little bit earlier in terms of players that I think no Bristol City fans will be missing massively. Taylor Moore loaned out, Casey Palmer gone on a permanent to Coventry City, Tyreek Bakinson joins Sheffield Wednesday yesterday, and Callum O'Dowda released, and another one that Cardiff City snapped up. It all looked like the right time for those players to leave, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Even if it wasn't the right time, I think it might have been a bit late. Obviously, a lot of fans were very happy with Bakinson leaving. You could see on Twitter, everyone was delighted with him leaving. Palmer is a weird one because we saw bright sparks on, but he didn't really get a chance. And the only thing I do worry with our squad depth at the moment with bringing in Sykes, if that does happen and someone doesn't get enough game time as he wants, and then it turns a bit toxic. But hopefully that doesn't happen again, and it'll be good competition for both Scott and Sykes. But yeah, I think it was the right time for them to leave. None of them were getting much game time last season. Obviously, Bakinson was on loan away. Palmer, I don't think, got even 180 minutes of game time last season. And Taylor Moore as well. He was on loan as well. So yeah, I think it was the right time. Obviously, brought players in to to contemplate for them leaving. So yeah, good luck for all of them. But I think we've got better players in now who hopefully can push us on to that next level.
Yeah, I'm sure that sort of stance will be echoed by most Bristol City fans. You talked about those young players earlier. That I think a lot of City fans were expecting for the club to really be fighting harder this summer to keep hold of them. I think it was Bristol World that reported Anton Semenyo, a £9 million bid rejected for him. Alex Scott's been linked away. Masengo, of course, as well. At the moment, City look on course to keep hold of their young stars. But Ben, you'd think if one of them's going to go, it's going to be Hanno Masengo, given his contract situation.
Yeah, if one of them was to leave, it'll probably be him. Obviously, Semenyo's been linked with Middlesbrough recently, but obviously, as you said, we've rejected a lot of bids for him. But yeah, if one was going to leave, probably with Masengo. But in my honest opinion, I don't think he will leave during the summer. I think if he was going to leave, he would have left, earlier on in the transfer window. We haven't seen too many rumours from Masengo. I don't think I've even seen one maybe this summer. Which is a massive surprise. As you said, obviously, at the end of last season, most British City fans were expecting a good 2 or 3 of our young stars to go, and maybe there's only been 1 or 2 rumours, and that was probably Semenyo and Scott. But hopefully we can get Masengo's contract sorted like we have with Closers, and obviously hopefully push on, then get Alex Scott's sorted as well. But yeah, honestly, I don't think anyone will leave it during the summer. It wouldn't surprise me if anyone does leave in January. But at the moment, I think we're at a good point, and hopefully we'll be able to keep them for at least the first half of the season and see if we can push on.
Yeah, I think most Bristol City fans would probably be hoping at least that the window slams shut before either of those 3 leave. But what about for you, Ben? Obviously, it's about 5 or 6 weeks now until the end of the transfer window. What business do you expect to see done by Bristol City, but either in or out? And what business would you like to see done?
I'm not too sure. I think we could probably improve in the wing-back situation. We've seen, even in pre-season, Nigel Pearson uses Scott as a wing-back. And honestly, I think I might be wasting his talent, because obviously we've seen him play in that centre attacking midfield, and he's absolutely quality. But obviously bringing Sykes in, maybe that means he does want to keep him at wing-back. But I think that's sort of wasting his talent. It'll be a sort of thing that Bristol have done over the last few years, where we've played players out of position and they've got unhappy and wanted to leave, sort of Palmer, kind of Midfielder at times. So hopefully we can get another wing back in to stop the chance of having to use Scott at wing back. Apart from that, I'm not expecting much more. We've obviously got 4 quality signings in, obviously including Closer signing on. So I don't think we need that much more. Obviously, things being up front, where we've needed a striker over the past few years. Now we've got Vyman scoring goals. Semenyo's looking the best I've ever seen him in a City shirt, as well as Martin. Martin last season was absolute quality. But yeah, I don't think there's much we need to improve, and it wouldn't surprise me if another player or 2 does leave the club, and if that happens, then we'll obviously need to bring in a replacement. But at the moment, if the transfer window is to shut tomorrow, I don't think I'd be too unhappy heading into the season.
Fair play. Well, next we'll move on to look at a few sort of positional battles. City scored plenty of goals then last season, Ben, as you say, the likes of Vyman and Semenyo having their best seasons in a City shirt. I mean, Tommy Conway has looked really sharp in pre-season. Nahki Wells has looked good as well. And as you said, Chris Martin on the back of the great season. And then, of course, there's Sykes. It seems as though Bristol City are going to sort of play that 3-4-1-2 formation that they've sort of played for much of last season under Pearson. If that was the case, for you, who should start in that front 3 against Hull City? And when Semenyo is fit, does that change things?
It is a tough one, because it's one of those ones where you want to start your best 11, but with what we've got at the moment, we've got quality players that would be playing on the bench, and you don't want them to get unhappy and then want to leave the club, because we've seen it in recent years. We've started the season with an insane amount of squad depth, and then come October we've got 7 injuries, and we're struggling to get a bench sorted, and we're having to bring in like under 23s just fill up the bench. So it is a weird one, but I think if we're going off what we saw last season, and if we go off what we see last season, I think it's got to be Vyman, probably Semenyo and Martin, with Vyman or Semenyo just sitting in behind them. But if we're going off pre-season, Naki Wells looks good. Tommy Conway's obviously signed that contract yesterday, scoring a few goals in the last few pre-season games. So it is a tricky one. I think when Semenyo is back fit, he will be getting a lot of game time, because what we saw with him and Vyman last season was absolutely quality. But as you said, we've got Sykes and Scott who will be fighting for that sort of attacking midfielder spot, hopefully, which may make Pearson move to a sort of 5-3-2 sort of formation with the cam. But it'll be interesting to see. For Hull, I think you've got to go Vyman, Martin, and then maybe Sykes just behind. But because of what we've seen in pre-season, but as you said, Tommy Conway and Naki Wells will be fighting for their spot. And obviously a week left, we'll have to see who sort of shines in the last pre-season game on Saturday against Bournemouth, and just shows off what they can do in training next week, and we'll see next Saturday, won't we?
Absolutely, and I think given some of the attacking struggles City have had in years before sort of last season, it's a lot of attacking depth that they have now, and certainly a lot of excitement amongst Bristol City fans about that. Well, let's look forward to the start of the season then, Ben, and 7 games that I think really offer City a huge opportunity to make a strong start. As we talked about, the start away at Hull, and then at Sunderland at home, followed by Wigan, Luton, the derby against Cardiff, of course, and then Blackpool and Huddersfield. I mean, lots of winnable games there, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to the start of the season, because obviously we're starting away at Hull, which is a winnable game. We beat them 5-0 last home game of the season, and I haven't really been keeping up to date with a lot of the Championship. I'm not sure really who they fought in. Obviously, they got that ownership deal sorted at the end of last season, so it wouldn't surprise me if they are pumping money into the club. But from what we've got, it'll be interesting to see how Wilson, Naismith do fare up against the Championship, and obviously the start of the season is always quite compact. We've got games every week, midweek games as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that does, sort of play against City. But we've got obviously that squad depth which you mentioned a few times, so I don't think that will be too much of a problem. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As you said, a lot of winnable games. Hopefully it won't be like last season where we're looking for that first home win. Hopefully we can get that done and dusted by end of August. Obviously we got Cardiff, who we beat twice last season. Hopefully we'll be able to do that again. But yeah, we've got a lot of tough home games for the first few. Obviously Sunderland, they're back in the Championship. Their fans are quality, so they'll be wanting to win their first away game. So Cardiff as well. Cardiff's never easy, but yeah, we'll see. It's a lot of winnable games, but I think you just need to get that win done and dusted early off in one of the first 2 or 3 games, and then we can hopefully push on and move up the table and not have a start of the season like we did last season.
Yeah, absolutely, and you feel that strong start of the season might change some attitudes towards the Robins, Ben. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but City currently the 5th favourite to go down at 3-1. I mean, from my perspective, particularly, that feels a little unfair, and certainly not a sort of gloomy look ahead to the season that's reflected by the fan base or lots in the media who are tipping them, I think, some as dark horses. Obviously, there's a few that feel they'll be relegation candidates. You feel sort of 5th favourites to go down is a little harsh, or are you happy with that underdog tag?
Well, obviously I'm happy with the underdog tag. It takes the pressure off us, and whatever happens is obviously improving what people are thinking. And I do understand where they're coming from. We've had a few tough seasons. We've been on the downfall, but after the summer, I think it is a bit harsh. I've seen people, looking at us to be, predicting us to finish 23rd and stuff like that, which I just cannot see happening in a, ever, pretty much. But
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to see. It's very difficult to predict because we could go out and go unbeaten in our first 10 games and be top of the table like we were in, what was it, 2017, 2018, and then be fighting for that playoff spot. But then also we could be like last season where we didn't get our first win until late October, and I wasn't predicting that last season. I also wasn't predicting to be fighting for playoffs a few years ago. But with the signing we've made, anything can happen, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we come to the point of the show then, Ben, that I'm going to ask you what you think we can expect from Bristol City this season, what they should be targeting, and what your prediction is, where you think they're going to finish.
Well, I have to go in my head with this one rather than my heart. And I think realistically, it's going to be, mid-table. Anything above mid-table would obviously be a quality season for us after the last few seasons we've had. But as I said earlier, anything can happen, and you could see us fighting for the playoff spot. But I really do doubt that. I predicted that for about the last 4 seasons, so I might have to be a bit more optimistic this season, and predict. Well, I think we probably will finish mid-table, which is obviously an improvement from last season, which we obviously want to see, but it's still not where we want to be yet. But hopefully, with the signings we've made, if we can make an improvement, try and keep some of the youngsters again for next season. Season after next, and then we can keep pushing on season by season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it seems sort of Nigel Pearson's pragmatism has worn off on you a little bit there, but certainly lots of positivity as well. Well, that's everything from us. But before we say our goodbyes, Ben, do you want to give sort of the City fans and the EFL fans out there a quick preview of what we can expect from Robins on tour this season?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm missing the first few games to of going on holiday, but as well, I'm going to try and keep up. I've got a few plans to still get a vlog out of a sort of two-way, where you've got someone at Ashton Gate filming some content there, and obviously me watching it from Spain. So I'll still hopefully get content out for the Sunderland game, and then I'm back for the Cardiff game, which will obviously be probably one of the biggest games of our season. But yeah, mostly just I'll be interviewing fans every game pretty much. So if you're a fan of an EFL club and you do play Bristol, make sure to get in touch. If you're out for an interview outside the game, outside of the stadium pre-match, and just keeping up the content. I haven't done much over the summer, but going to go into next season smashing it. Obviously, got the World Cup in between as well. I've got some plans for that, and before the second half of the season as well. So it should be good. Obviously, it'll be much more entertaining if Bristol City are picking up points, but we'll have to see. But yeah, if you are a fan of an EFL club or just a fan of football, make sure to check out my channel. I'm trying to go to a few neutral games as well. Obviously, when I'm on holiday, I'll be going to a few games in Spain and America when I go over there, hopefully. So, we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm just be keeping up the content. You can see sort of the stuff I've done over the last few years, and hopefully just be an improvement of that, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, certainly a channel for all EFL, Bristol City, and as you say, football fans to definitely check out. That's everything from myself and Ben, but there's more to come on Footballing World TV today at 2 p.m. Alfie Burns will be joined by Jack Borstwick to discuss Sunderland's return to the Championship. Obviously, they'll be visiting Ashton Gate on the 6th of August. Well, that just leaves me to say thank you, Ben, and thanks everyone for watching.